What up, everybody? It is October 4th, 2024, and this is Cuz I Wanna, the show that we do when we wanna, and lately we've been wanting to on the weekends. Joining me today as now an official part of the line, which is exciting, and I feel every time we add somebody new, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? It's Owen Morgan. Owen, how are you?
Yes, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on. Glad to be here.
So what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you agree to now? It's life good?
Yeah, things going pretty well. Just doing my thing. I did get some copyright strikes earlier, not claims, but strikes for a God's Not Dead video, and then I did a counterclaim, and they struck 2 more videos. So I think they're trying to take me down for real. Oh shit!
Yeah. They don't know that you have legal connections.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
My wife is in law school, of course. So.
Yep. And connected to some other people who are also interested in not letting religious people try to bully the other people with legal means.
That's true.
I'll be there for the fundraiser if we have to go ham. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Welcome. I am interested in people to call, man, I'm so articulate. This is why people are like, this guy's the greatest. What the fuck is even this call that is queuing up? We want to know a reason why a person would vote for Donald Trump. And we don't want people to call in and go, I think the reason they would call is squelpadolpadol, because we already can speculate the reasons why people are calling. We would like callers who, now if you have a different political challenge that you want to call in with, you can call in with a different political challenge. Like if you are one of those silly people who think you should vote third party, you could call in and challenge that. But mostly what I want to know is, why would you vote for Donald Trump? In what way is Donald Trump remotely appealing and would be a good president after being such a terrible president before? Also, I would like to let people know, if you are at all interested in ex-Mormon excommunication stories, earlier today on Jimmy Snow Has a Podcast, I had Nemo the Mormon on, who was excommunicated this last week, and we talked about that. So after all of this is done, go to the places you find podcasts, type in Jimmy Snow Has a Podcast, go watch that. Owen, what's been going on your podcast lately?
Oh, just crazy stuff. I'm sure you heard about the Roseanne Barr thing. Did you hear about Roseanne Barr saying that Democrats are literal vampires?
We eat babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they eat babies and they're actual vampires. And I know it sounds like I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They really do it. They eat babies.
The crazy
That's not
thing
a very
is
good impression, but I stand by it.
I went through my clip collection that I've been gathering for like years, and I found like 5 more examples of different people on the right saying that exact line, like Democrats are literal vampires. I mean, it gets really deranged. So anyway, that's one of the things I covered.
What an interesting person she's been. Do you remember years ago when she went on Bill O'Reilly and was like, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a liberal, I hate liberals, I'm a socialist?
No, I don't remember that.
Way before Trump was even a thing. Yeah, she used to claim to be a socialist who hates liberals, and now here we are. We've swapped places. I used to be a little Christian nationalist fascist, and she was the socialist who thinks liberals are well, as I do. I don't hate liberals. I just think that they're trying to put Band-Aids on gushing wounds. And now she's the Christian nationalist fascist.
How things change. Yeah, you know, she grew up Jewish. She has a family member that died in the Holocaust, and she's a full-blown QAnoner, which is like a Nazi death cult. It's a rebranded Nazi death cult, for real.
It's freaking bananas. Just bizarre what people get up to. There's nothing on my.
Yeah, I've also been talking about. Say again.
No, then I was lamenting that there's nothing on the TV that no one can see anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, I've also been talking about this book I'm reading on my podcast. That's another thing I've been releasing up there. It's out of print. Real hard subject to like read about, but it's about like whether Hitler was Christian or atheist or whatever, and the church's role in making the Holocaust happen is pretty crazy, actually. Really interesting stuff, in my opinion.
I was thinking about it a lot because we had a caller not too long ago who was trying to do the whole like, well, you know, the Nazis were not. And then somebody wanted to call in and argue with me because I have a clip that was pretty popular debunking that whole thing. And it is really funny how it's like, look, I don't think because you are a Christian, any individual who might be watching, that you are therefore also a Nazi because the Nazis were. But it's really, really bizarre that you want to, it's so important to you to separate it from it, as though you aren't already aware that so much, and I know the real reason is, what the real reason they do that is, it's because they want to say he was an atheist and claim that that has to do with what Hitler did, that his atheism actually inspired it. And we're not doing that. We're not trying to push that back on them, that a Christian is going to naturally fall into Nazism, even if it wasn't hard for the Christians who had such structural anti-Semitism for so long to find themselves there. But modern day, there's plenty of Christians that are of zero risk of becoming a Nazi. And yet they want to, the reason why they want to have that argument is because they want to be able to do what they don't want done to them, which is claim that their Christianity, that atheism can inspire fascism, but Christianity can't, which is also absurd. Look at the modern Christian nationalist effort in America.
Yeah, totally
I'm
agree.
being told, oh, I'm sorry, I see what happened. I am not equal. I am only going out to people's left channel. Thank you to the audio engineer who mentioned something. That's my fault. I fixed it for my master, but not for my buses. So now I should be in everybody's ears on both channels. Is that correct? Did it suddenly sound better?
Sounds a lot louder, yeah, to me.
But did it start going to both headphones instead of just one?
Go ahead and talk.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't. Okay,
Yeah,
got you. You didn't have both of them in. Okay. Yeah, before I was
good.
just in the left and happened to be the one that you have on. Anyway, we've got calls queuing up. Our wonderful producer is also our call screener tonight. We're going to have to add some new call screeners here very soon. Listen, everybody, I see that people are talking about it. Look, that's how much of a leftist I am, okay? I only speak into left ears. That's how socialist I am. That's I don't know any other way. All right. Good. We've improved. No.
I'm left-handed.
Not at all.
Like that. Sounds like I'm more left than you, yeah.
That's right. I wish I could. I shoot left-handed and I'm left-eyed, and I do a few other things left-handed, but I write with my right hand. So a mild amount of ambidexterity, which sounds like I'm a moderate, which I am not at all. What do you think? Should we get into a call?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right.
Try to zoom my camera out a little bit.
We'll see how this goes. Matt in Georgia, you are on the line with Jimmy and Owen. Matt, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Just fine. What's your concern here? We wanted to share something with us.
Yes, I think the video was 4 to 6 years ago. Trump spoke at the World Economic Forum, Davos, or whatever it's called. It's not important what he said because Trump is an asshole, but the point is that if he's supported by the World Economic Forum, the World Economic Forum talks about this complicated bullshit about generative AI called the industrial metaverse, and it has lots of writing on this. I've not read everything about this, but it's about automating the supply chain, about making jobs easier to do, more demonstrable to do. And like if you work at a store, the diagram could be right in front of you and it could teach you how to do your job easier. And
that sounds awesome.
They have sustainability arguments and everything. And if the World Economic Forum is supporting Trump, that means all this sustainability, all this continuing of an economy is going towards imperialism and war. And I'm concerned about that. And apparently you can't talk about this in a psychology class, because even though they talk about the Turing test, the more political side of things, I guess the contextual norms are different.
Okay, I've never heard of anybody not being allowed to speak of something in a psychology class, but aside from that, yeah, I know you're referencing the Great Reset. Did not know that Donald Trump spoke at the WEF. That would surprise me because the Great Reset conspiracy theory came out like forever ago. So Trump should have been like super opposed to it for a long time.
No, I don't have I'm not talking about the Great Reset unless you think that that's the meme I have. But
no, the WEF is the center of the Great Reset conspiracy theory.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I do know that Microsoft and IBM had these arguments for the sustainability arguments about Microsoft Azure, or however you pronounce it,
Azure,
and all these complicated technologies that I will never be able to afford. But I'm worried that their sustainability arguments are being used to just accelerate imperialism, and
not
I'm
sure how they'd
that.
be accelerating imperialism.
Well, it's just making it worse and causing war and fascism.
How's that?
And as capitalism gets more industrialized through technology, through the development of technology, the new inventions create like the opportunity for people to compete, and they offer this. Okay, this is not obviously not practice. I didn't practice this argument.
Oh, no sweat.
Going
You're
down.
Good. Yeah,
Matt, let's go. Matt, let's go ahead and wrap it up, though, because it sounds like you're kind of just speculating and working through your own feelings and thoughts on this. And so if you have a greater question or point, maybe come back with it on another time. But overall, it sounds like you're just trying to voice that you're worried that because he has indirectly supported the World Economic Forum, that maybe those entities would work on his behalf to try and get him elected, right?
Well, do you think it's comparable to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch?
Never seen it.
I don't know. Thank you for calling, Matt. We'll talk to you another time. That is just not the kind of call. I don't even know what to categorize that as. We're just, now we're talking about, is it like a movie? Here's the thing. You know, I wasn't familiar with that at the World Economic Forum. And then I'm not meaning to be rude, but at the same time, sometimes it's time to go. Let's see here. Okay, let's talk to Jackie. You are on the line with Jimmy and Owen. Jackie, you're on the line. Huh?
My name is Mark.
Hello, Jackie.
I put that on the call screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you are Jackie. You're trying to bypass your ban.
My name isn't Jackie, but okay.
You are Jackie. Hey, will you pull up your notes app in your phone real quick? I want to give you write down something real quick.
No, thank you.
You can't? You can't do that?
I can do that.
Sure.
What do you need me to write down?
I was just going to confirm that it is. By the way, Jackie, I can fully hear that it's you. I know your voice. It's nice that you're trying to change it a little bit, but your cadence and everything and the topic, it's hilarious. But Jackie, it's simple. You've confirmed you have a phone now. So call 720-619-2288. Call from your phone number that you've used in the past, and it won't pop up as you. We're not going to tell people what your phone number is, but it's very, very simple. It's not you, Jackie. So now I understand you might just go get a friend's or whatever, even if you call with a different number. However, it's very clearly you, Jackie. So, and by the way, Jackie, what's the name of tonight's show? Oh, you broke out there, Jackie. What was that?
The name of tonight's show is Give Me One Good Reason to Vote for Trump.
Right, and you're calling to talk about Rene Girard, Claude Levi-Strauss, Jean Piaget, and the structuralist case for religious narratives. So those are related.
This is a religion themed. Yes, this is a religion themed show.
What is the title of the episode? Every show has a different theme, Jackie. You know better than this, but you also know you're banned from calling. So have a good one, buddy boy.
Calling me.
You're bad at impression. You're bad at accents. Jackie, just so you know, you're bad at accents. What's that? What shaming?
You're dead naming me. You're dead naming me.
Oh, I'm dead naming you. Hilarious, Jackie. Now you're trying to take and co-opt the trans movement to make your shitty little point. I'm extra happy I've banned you from the show, you little piece of shit. Goodbye, Jackie. Fucking asshole.
Turns out it was Jackie all along.
Yes, right. By the way, now you're a liar on top of everything else, you piece of shit. Fucking asshole. Whatever. It was almost funny. All right, I think we can have some real conversations and some real calls here. Let's talk to Matthew in Ohio. Matthew, you are on the line with Owen and Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Owen. So
Hey.
you guys asked for one reason to vote for Trump. I would say that he is diplomatic.
How so?
Okay.
Well, he brokered peace in the Middle East. Remember, he actually served 4
No, he
years. I
didn't.
think
He did not broker peace in the
Well-
Middle East. You want me to tell you
What
what
was
he
it,
really did? I'll
2000?
tell you what he really did.
That's the
Yeah.
silliest thing I've ever heard.
Okay, let me tell you what he really did. The Abraham Accords, it got
Yeah.
negotiations with Israel and one other country, I think, the UAE, to openly trade. And they were hoping it would go further, but then Israel, went in and just destroyed Gaza and killed a whole bunch of people. So I guess that's like right out the window. That was not peace in the Middle East by any stretch of the imagination, not even close. You know what my vision of it would be? It would be Israel going back to the 1967 borders. But they're not going to do that. And we know they're not going to do that. So Trump isn't going to accomplish peace in the Middle East. Nobody is until Israel decides to.
I love
Oh,
too
and
when
even
people want to say
you-
this. First of all, you're trying to make 2 points at the same time. He's diplomatic, and now you're trying to basically say because he's good for wars. He didn't broker shit. Clearly he didn't, because whatever happened didn't prevent that. But I like that we just pretend Yemen doesn't exist, and that under his presidency, we didn't literally, even more so than we do in Israel, directly participate in a Yemeni genocide. I love that we just ignore that. They're like, but no new war started. So the fact that he ramped up other wars in a short period of time, beat the all-time innocent civilian Muslim high record death count, but no new wars began. Sure, he ramped up and shot the others to a 10, and sure, he put us in danger by being absolutely insane and unhinged with Kim Jong-un, and sure, he enabled the autocratic enemy that is Russia and went and just kissed his ass on stage. But what if all of our autocratic opposition could be like, I like this man, he seems useful, I can manipulate, and all of our actual allies go, why is this dude just trying to fuck me right now? But diplomacy, yeah, you're nailing it.
Yeah, I would say that. Well, let me ask you: do you think that Russia and Ukraine would be at war if Trump was president?
Yes,
Of course.
I'm positive they would. That was delayed by
Well,
COVID, nothing to do with Trump.
Even though he's not president, he's even trying to broker peace between the two countries
Incorrect.
at this moment.
What's he doing?
Incorrect.
He's doing nothing. He's just standing there saying, I'm going to broker peace. Well, do it. Why didn't you do it before? Do it.
No,
He's
the
just
reason
a
why he's
shit
not doing
talker.
it because he knows Ukraine will not accept it. Because the peace he's trying to broker is, Ukraine, what if you just let them win and have the territories that they want to have? Why don't you just let them do it? You got to go in there and you got to make a deal. If we got invaded by a country, would it be making peace if we were like, okay, Mexico invaded us, absurd as a notion as that is. But Mexico invaded us, but we have to make peace. And making peace would look like, we'll let them have Louisiana, Mexico, part of California. We'll let them have these territories that were the economic reasons that they're there. That wouldn't be peace. That would be concession. That would be losing the war. He plans to broker peace and end the war by giving the victory to Russia. The idea that you have to make a deal when your sovereignty has been absolutely violated is actually antithetical to the very agreements that we are in with our allies, our various treaties and NATO and everything else. And when you go to Vladimir Putin and you go, if you do a move like this, you're going to end up at least with a positive, even as you show you don't care about your own civilians dying, or rather the military, the people who you conscript into the military, over 70,000 of them dead so far, Russians. Yeah, go ahead and do that. Take that human cost. And while you're not going to get the whole country, we'll give you, in effect, the stuff the country needs to survive, and you'll still be able to claim victory. Matthew, do you know what you're talking about at all?
I don't know. Probably not as much as you guys know, but one thing I do know is that, because he just said give you one good reason, I do see that, to me, that he's diplomatic, and that even the last 4 years that we had under Trump were way better than, and Kamala can't even answer the question whether it was better or not, but we have to admit that it was way better. It was way better than what it was in the past 3.5 years.
What was way better? What was way better? Specifically, what was way better?
Our country in general.
No, incorrect. He absolutely flubbed the COVID recovery, had no plan. Biden gets into office and goes, hey, let me get that distribution plan for this Operation Warp Speed, because clearly you must have had a plan. Oh, what? The plan was to get a vaccine in your arm, Mr. Trump, and not have a plan otherwise? So COVID, literally he does nothing for. He explodes the deficits with billionaire tax cuts, which literally is part of the inflation happening today, but also adds tariffs, which is part of the inflation today. You are literally raising the cost of goods by lowering the amount we can buy, and you are undermining our relationships with our trade partners. So I'm very confused on what you think was better, when in fact, the Biden administration, and I'm not a Democrat, I don't even support Biden except over Trump, right? But the Biden administration has actually mitigated the damage he did and corrected the fact that there was no plan for the COVID recovery and zero plan for the actual withdrawal of Afghanistan. All Donald Trump did was say, we're going out by that day and it's going to be a great time. It's going to be easy. It's going to be so easy that I have zero plan. What is it that was better? And by the way, a reminder, Matthew, that had Donald Trump also gotten his way on everything we had tried to do, healthcare in this country would be even worse, because he actually tried to repeal the ACA without a replacement plan. And we know that there wasn't a replacement plan, because now here, 8 years later, he still has yet to publish his replacement to the ACA, despite the fact he's been saying it's coming in about 2 weeks. We're going to do a big thing in about 2 weeks. He's been saying that for 8 years, and we still haven't seen it. Correct. He doesn't have a plan for shit. Mm-hmm. All he has is rolling with whatever's happening and claiming he did it the best and Biden did it worse, and painting everything like that. Matthew, all you are doing is just believing the words out of his mouth without actually knowing the details.
Wouldn't you want someone, though, that even though and he admitted that he didn't have a plan, he said he had a concept of a plan, but he admitted that he didn't have a plan. Wouldn't you want someone that's more honest than what we have going on with the next administration coming in?
I'd want someone with
What
a
are
plan.
you talking? I now don't think Matthew is an actual serious call. I think Matthew is joking. To call Donald Trump more honest is about the most hilarious thing I've maybe heard ever.
So you think that Donald Trump is more honest than Kamala Harris?
No, I said the opposite. I thought you were. Yes, I think he is. Yeah. Not only do I think he is less honest, I think he's less honest than you, who I think is probably pretending to be a Democrat to get, or a Republican to get on the show. I actually think the persona you're putting on right now, faking this right now, is actually more honest than Donald Trump on any random day.
You're probably not familiar with me, so that's fine. I mean, you can claim that as much as you want. But no, I'm
should I be?
Yeah, not too much. I mean, I call her. Apparently, I call 21 times, and I'm
24.
most calling person ever.
Could be. You've got 24 calls on our watch.
Yeah.
I just don't know that I believe that this persona is
apparently
authentic
I call
when
all
it
the
says
time.
such
I'm just,
cliches.
misogynist, conservative, roar person, whatever. So
I agree. You are a bore person because it sounded like you were saying bore, and I'm pretty bored with the cliches.
Sure. But yeah, I have a reputation that I'm definitely not a Democrat. But anywho, yeah, I would say that Kamala Harris has done no interviews.
Kamala.
Really.
She has. So that's already a lie. Already a lie. She also beat him in debate. Also beat him in debate, was clearly able to answer questions and for the most part stay on topic and get under his skin. Her name is Kamala. Say it out loud, Matthew. Kamala.
Go
ahead, Matthew.
Where is
Kamala.
this Kamala thing coming from?
That's her name. She has told people how to pronounce it. She has corrected it multiple times. It isn't hard. Trying to pronounce it Kamala because people like that it sounds more ethnic and thinks it undermines her instead of just pronouncing it the way it sounds. That's her name.
Well, I'm a New Yorker. I'm as ethnic as it gets. That's
Doesn't matter.
what I'm wondering. I'm like, where do the leftists get to the point of like this whole Kamala thing? I've noticed that where it's Kamala.
Just say her name right.
Your name.
It's Kamala. Just say her name right. Quit being a dumbass about it.
But I just want to know what the deal is with that. I don't mind saying Kamala.
Mr. New Yorker.
What's her name pronounced?
Great. That's her name. Good. From here on, you'll say Kamala. Now make your next point.
I'm from New York, actually.
I'm from New York, asshole. Owen's in New York, asshole. All of us say Kamala. I'm from there. He's in there.
No. He was just saying that I'm from Ohio or something like that. Oh, you can tell he's from Ohio or something.
It says you called in and said your state you called from was Ohio. And I was joking that you're talking to another person from New York and another person in New York. Owen, people who actually give a shit, they have a hard time saying Kamala?
I've never heard of that problem before, actually, no.
Yeah. Matthew, I would just accept the criticism. It doesn't have, No, it's not she can be. That's her name. Just call her by her name. It's not Kamala. It's Kamala. Just say her name, bro. Now move on. Say the point and say her name right when you make it.
Yeah. So she can't answer a question, right? We see that. Well, and you see that she can't answer a question. And when asked,
incorrect.
Hey, are we doing better than the last 4 years? The obvious answer is no, we're not. But for some reason, she can't answer that. Obviously, we know why she won't answer it. So that
everything you just said was not correct.
So did she answer it? What was her answer?
Yeah, not only, she literally made it her closeout. And of course it is. It's literally the points I've already given you. You're sitting here saying she can't answer questions, and yet somehow she can win a debate. Even Fox News agreed that she won the debate.
When asked, what are we better than the last 3.5 years? What was her answer?
I assume it was yes. What specific interview are you asking for?
Yeah, I'm during the debate. What was her
Matthew,
answer?
let's try this. Matthew, I've got a fun thing for you. I'm going to say an answer and you're going to tell me what the question was. Okay? Listen to this. But I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that because look, childcare is childcare. It's something you have to have it. In this country, you have to have it. But when you talk about those numbers compared to the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, by taxing foreign nations at levels that they're not used to, but they'll get used to it very quickly. And it's not going to stop them from doing business with us, but they'll have a very substantial tax when they send product into our country. Those numbers are so much bigger than any numbers. That's what we're talking about, including childcare. It's going to take care. We're going to have, I look forward to having no deficits with a fairly short period of time, coupled with the reductions that I told you about on waste and fraud and all of the other things that are going on in this country. What was the question?
I couldn't tell you. It probably, it sounds like Trump, a Trumpian answer. Right.
So Trump can answer a question, but Harris can't.
Donald Trump, though.
Harris, hang on, I'm not done. You were saying that Harris can't answer a question, but Trump can. And that was Trump when asked how he basically plans to help people who need child care and what he would do about the child care tax credit.
Okay, gotcha. My question was, when asked, what was Kamala's answer when she was asked?
You tell me, buddy boy. I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge. Tell me, buddy.
Pardon?
You tell me.
I didn't get one, so that's why I'm asking you, my friend.
Wait. So what you're saying is you know what she said, but you don't actually know what she said and can't repeat it to me, but your point is actually based on this. And you want to see if I have encyclopedic knowledge. So you want to see if I have encyclopedic knowledge on something that you don't actually know, but this is going to make the point. Well done.
No, you're missing my point. My point is, right, we asked whether, I'm telling you, my point is the last 4 years, Donald Trump was better than the Biden-Kamala administration, right? And when asked if that was the case, Kamala did not give an answer.
Oh, yes, she did. And by the way, Matthew, the next time you say Kamala, you're done.
She gave a response.
The next time you say Kamala, you are done. Kamala, you can put in the effort. Jesus Christ.
So when...
Yes, so like a politician did.
When she gave an answer.
Like a politician did.
Sure, yeah.
She talked about hers, the future being better under her, more than she talked about what the past was. Meanwhile, you have other people going out and stumping for her, people like Pete Buttigieg, who do an incredible job of communicating that it is a delusion. It is a way that they have gaslit. Clearly you, Matthew, you literally speak like a person who is gaslit, or a person who's like just phony and pretending to be this persona.
You have to understand,
but either way,
I'm religious, so of course I've been gaslit.
Great, Matthew.
Right? And not only that.
Now, how about I just go ahead and finish my fucking point? She gave a political answer, and it is a delusion and a thing you have fallen for if you legitimately believe that things were not better in the last 4 years and the 4 year prior. Yes, you can point at specific things that were issues, and I love how the Republicans like to go, those aren't issues. If it happened under Biden, Trump couldn't have done it. Meanwhile, they also go, thank goodness Roe v. Wade got turned over. But that happened under Biden. So who overturned Roe v. Wade, Biden or Trump? Or is it the case that the actions you take in one term don't necessarily show their teeth until years later, and in fact are often designed to do that, like Republican tax cuts that only caught up to them the last time they did it because 9/11 happened and then we had a war-based recession afterwards. Otherwise, they were going to do the same thing, temporarily raise the economy, and then it's the next fucker's problem to figure out how that actually makes things worse and pushes us into a recession. Matthew, at its very core, you seem to have very, very little understanding of the political gears of this country.
Perhaps. And are you saying that that's the same reason why the groceries are higher now than they were during Trump's administration?
Most of the inflation is neither president's fault. However, where you could say a president is responsible, the fact of the matter is that America has the lowest inflation of the Western world, and that is because of Biden's policies, even though all these other countries, including more conservative countries, are not doing as well as us because of his policies that reduced it. However, if you also want to go, okay, but what policies increased it? Exploding the deficit by doing giant tax cuts and literally tariffs. And Biden is a bastard for not taking the tariffs away because he's literally just extending it. Not as bad, and I think he did end some of them. But yeah, fuck that guy for doing that. Harris is saying those tariffs are going to go and that she's certainly not going to do all these additional tariffs. Trump's talking about 100, 200% tariffs, basically saying we're going to make inflation happen more because when you try to import something, an American is going to pay a 200% tax to import it. Not China, an American will. So that American will be able to order fewer goods.
All right. So when asked, right, Harris was asked,
I've already answered this new question. I have already answered. Nope, you don't get to just repeat the same question because I've now answered it 3 times, I believe, Matthew.
I wanted to know, because you were going on, that's fine, but I want to know what was her answer.
Already answered it 3 times, Matthew. You can either ask a new question and we can move on, and you can go back and watch the clip again because these things are on replay. But I've already answered it, and I'm not interested in repeating myself and this weird, dumb thing where you get to ask the same question again, and I have to come up with a new answer. Otherwise, you win because that's the way dumb people debate. So move on to a new question.
Okay, I'll move on. My next question would be, what are your, and this is kind of just random. I'm really not a very argumentative type, really. What is your thoughts on the open border?
Oh, I wish we had an open border. We do not have an open border, Matthew. It's such bullshit to suggest. We literally have border crossings lower than when Trump was president. Right now, Biden is using the type of executive orders I expect from a more cruel conservative president. To call the border open in any way is an actual joke. We need to go back to an Ellis Island style thing where you very quickly can get asylum, you very quickly can get a worker's permit, and there is a good, easy path to citizenship. We should be welcoming people with open arms, doing vetting to make sure we don't have felons, gang affiliations, and terrorist affiliations. Sure, but it should be an Ellis Island style thing. I wish we had an open border, Matthew. It's insane to suggest that we do, especially now when border crossings are worse are lower than they were during Trump times, and people like Greg Abbott are allowed to do things like just put razor wire in the water and kill mothers and children. Insane that you even say, what do you think about this open border we have?
All right, so what do you think? Because during Donald Trump's administration, from what I understand, there were no criminals from other countries kicking down doors in people's apartments.
Yes, that is incorrect, Matthew.
And stuff like that.
That is incorrect. There were still gangs in America, and that story in Aurora, as has been told by the actual police force there, which are not left affiliated. I'm from Denver. I promise you, the police there are not some super progressive force, as well as the mayor, as well as the city officials, and as well as the governor have all debunked that the complex was taken over. You saw some gang activity. Also, if your point is so true, why do you rely on hyperbole? Because in the video, they don't kick down the door. They knock on the door is opened, and they walk in. But you see brown people with guns, and look, they are gang affiliated. That part's at least not wrong, but you've added all of this in. Matthew, are you now going to tell me how worried you are about how the people in Springfield are eating the dogs? Do you believe that lie too?
I don't think they're eating dogs and cats and stuff like that. I don't know if they're eating. I know they're eating geese, but that's neither here nor there.
First of all, you don't know they're eating geese because that photo was also debunked, and it turned out that that was a person trying to just steal geese as pets, and they had to return it. The geese thing has also been debunked, but you know what, Matthew? I would not give 2 shits. You shouldn't eat people's pets. Sure, but let's just say anyone was eating geese. How is that weirder than the fact that people eat deer in this country? Or duck. We literally eat duck at restaurants, or chickens. I give a fuck if geese get eaten. Geese are bastards. Fuck those fuckers and eat the shit out of them.
I think that is the idea, is that there's just a wild geese. It just seems kind of taboo, but I don't think, I mean, if you see I see a bunch of rabbits, I want to come and, take a
Would you prefer they were domesticated geese?
No, they don't need to be domesticated.
Lots of states actually encourage and have incentive programs to kill rabbits, by the way, because the rabbit populations gets too large. Matthew, you have yet to show you understand the foundation of a single point you've offered. Telltale, I'm sorry, I'm talking so much. I should let you get him. I get all.
So let's rewind then. Let's rewind back to 4 years ago when Trump was president versus when Harris and Biden were president. You're arguing that it is not better, but what we see, we don't see the same things that we're seeing going on in those 4 years. Is that the country just is actually worse?
No, you are incorrect. It is better now.
Yikes.
Yikes, what? Matthew, you've not shown you understand a single thing. It doesn't mean that I think that the world is good or that inflation is good. I certainly don't think the gig economy is good, which, by the way, the failed Trump response to COVID exploded the gig economy. We had a massive number of jobs lost, and those jobs were not replaced with jobs that similarly had the same regulations and benefits required by law. They were replaced by fucking DoorDash, by fucking Uber, where you're a contractor and you don't get fucking shit for shit, and pay has actually been going down as they've been increasing fees and saying more about their record profits. I don't think that's good, and I fucking hate Trump for fucking flubbing the COVID response, but also he's wrong on human rights. Fundamentally, who is safer? Americans are safer in general, not just the ones with the white penises that are easily emasculated when a person puts on a dress that they don't think should be allowed to because they're worried they're going to find them hot. But insecure white penises, I will tell you that, Matthew, they are at the biggest risk of being triggered little snowflakes as they've ever been, and that's why America's going to hell in a handbag. That's basically their argument.
Going to hell.
The way you said it, I wouldn't say it that way, but that's one of the reasons why I'm not even though I do talk a lot about the trans movement and all that, I do find it funny that the red pillars will probably get confused because they want to sleep with anyone and anything. So. That'll probably be interesting to see play out. But I'm not concerned about that. Obviously, I'm brown. But my main concern is that you said that Americans are safer now than they were back then 4 years ago. And I want you to explain that to me.
I could do it in multiple ways. This is the last point we're going to go over because this call has gotten nowhere, and you've been shown to be wrong multiple times, and somehow your opinion is that, maybe I should start changing and thinking about my vote. In multiple aspects, one, we have not. Oh, well, wow. So you're not even. You're supposed to be calling for why you're voting for. I guess it only said one good reason. You're like, well, technically, I'm not even voting. So we're talking to a non-voter who's trying to look for a loophole to be on. So we are going to make this short. Okay. Your health is safer. Your climate, though not good, the fact that we're actually doing stuff on climate is safer, which affects our long term because climate is a human ending possibility to do nothing on. But your health is safer because we had a COVID response. We've had a vaccine distribution. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the red states are trying to still fuck that up as much as they can, but we got actually through it, and we actually got the vaccines distributed. And now you're at less of a chance, Matthew. I'm not even worried about you dying. I'm worried about you getting long COVID. I'm worried about many people getting long COVID because, as people with long COVID will tell you, it fucking sucks and takes your life away from you. And that is far more common than actually dying is. But let's not forget, over 1 million Americans died, and nowhere near that amount had to die because of the way Donald Trump handled COVID. So your health, from a perspective of national security, I don't even know how to say that that's any different, honestly, because Biden has been rather right-wing in his handling of Gaza. But as far as compared to Trump, the fact that he hasn't just basically gone, yes, daddy, go ahead and take those parts of Ukraine you want. The fact that Biden is actually supporting Ukraine and not trying to get a deal. We're going to get a deal where their sovereignty, we can suspend that sovereignty. The fact that we're not doing that also makes us safer in the long run because, one, we have diminished resources of Russia, who is still a potential military adversary, and it further prevents them from expanding further into Europe. We stop them in Ukraine so that we don't have to, Matthew, put boots on the ground in Poland. Because guess what happens if Russia invades Poland as a member of NATO? American troops go fight also.
Okay.
Have we changed your mind on anything tonight, Matthew, by chance?
Just gonna go. Fox News will cover it.
I think there was something part of. Yeah, there was something that you guys said. I can't remember now, but I'm sure when I hang up, I'll remember it.
Okay, well, why don't you go back and watch the video again and check each of our claims? Fact check us, okay? And if we turn out to be right, I hope you'll change your mind.
Okay.
All right. Bye, Matthew.
Bye-bye.
I'll take my hands off the wheel. You pick one of the callers on hold. You pick.
All right,
I will ride back seat.
Do I do it myself, like enable it myself, or just name one that?
Yeah,
I
you
want?
hit talk and you just say so and so and blah blah blah. You're on the line with Jimmy and Owen, or Owen and Jimmy. You can do it in any order you want.
Okay, sweet. Actually, I'm not seeing how to do it. Can you pick one? Just pick a random one and I'll take it, because I'm not sure I've figured out the interface yet.
All right. Doug in South Dakota, you are on the line with Jimmy and Owen. Doug, South Dakota.
Owen, I appreciate.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. Owen, I appreciate your Was Hitler Atheist series. I see that you put a lot of work into that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I have.
My point is, Trump is for law enforcement, because what happened in 2020 during the Black Lives Matter in Minneapolis?
Okay, so you think that Trump is in favor of the police because of what happened in Minnesota, is what you're saying?
Right.
Okay. What did Trump do? All right, first of all, I don't care if he's in favor of the police. In fact, the police are a destructive force more often than not in this country. So I'd prefer that he weren't for the police, but he were for justice, that he were actually for holding people accountable. But aside from all of that, what did Trump even do in Minnesota? That I thought that most of that was done by like the governor and stuff.
Well, I know one of his supporters came from Texas and was convicted for throwing the first Molotov cocktail that started the police department on fire.
Oh, wait, now, hang on a second. I remember this. I remember this story. You realize the guy that threw that Molotov cocktail was a Republican, right? And he was trying to start problems for everybody. There's an article about it from The Guardian that I can pull up for you if you want to see it. The guy was a member of the Boogaloo Boys, is what they called themselves. I don't think they're as active now as they were, but the point is...
Also such a red herring fallacy, since that wasn't an answer to the question. Or Trump, what a supporter does is what the president is responsible for? Jesus Christ.
Right? So how did he support the police?
He said to shoot first and ask questions later.
Okay. Wow.
Doug's not serious. Yeah, he's not serious.
Yeah, I suppose he did say that. You're right. But I'm not sure how that's a good thing.
Take the guns first. Take the guns first and then ask questions.
Take the
Doug,
guns first.
we don't need pretend Republicans, man. What is the point of this? Why are you pretending to be a right winger? We'd rather have no calls than fake ones.
Being in the area of Minneapolis, like, I'm not directly in the area in South Dakota, but that point being brought up with right wingers, they burned down the police department. There's never a report that it wasn't. It was Republicans. It was right wingers.
Thank you at least for admitting, Doug, that you're not serious.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
Yeah.
Well, Doug, I don't know what to tell you.
One other kind of ammo in your bag for a retort sort of thing, on more on the religious side, for why the Ten Commandments shouldn't be in schools. Luke 14:26, the red letters. If anyone comes to me and does not hate mother and father, wife and children, brother and sisters, yes, even their own life, such a person cannot be my disciple. And that
interesting.
The Ten Commandments.
Okay.
What would you say, Doug, is the perfect temperature to enjoy an herbal tea? So you're just giving random unsolicited advice. I just wanted to know how you take your tea. Oh, only sweet tea. Doug, thank you for calling, I guess. I hope your intentions were pure, but we're definitely going to move on.
I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Bye, Doug. If you have a good reason to vote for Trump and can be honest about it, we will talk about it. The phone number is 720-619-2729. 2288. We've only got
think
one
I
other
figured
person
out
on
the
the line right
interface,
now.
too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. We've only got other people who had called in have since, probably while listening to the previous calls, been like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. But if you're ready for this and you can present honestly and have stats or an argument, or just if you want to go, hey, actually, I would love to talk to somebody who goes, I'm leaning Trump and I don't even necessarily know why, but I feel like it's a very good, and we'll talk about those reasons. We'll break it down and we'll see if you are doing things for a good reason. Call us, let us know. If you also want to call about abortion, you think abortion is good, I would take that call. Or bad, rather. If you think abortion's bad, that we shouldn't have abortion. I don't want to talk to somebody who thinks it's good because I don't want to talk to my own reflection. Fucking just abortion is, if you're pro, as they call it, pro-life, if you are pro voting third party, you still want to vote for now RFK Jr., who's not only a brainworm laden idiot, but also an unfaithful asshole to his wife. It's not really relevant to his politics, but yeah. You haven't seen these reports about he was having a sexual relationship with a reporter, I think mostly via sexting, and now him and Cheryl Hines are seemingly separated. As
the old Anthony Weiner tactic, the sexting thing. It's not good.
Though I do think at least this person was of age, because Anthony Weiner was sexting a 17-year-old. That's probably the biggest problem with look, don't cheat on people. It's a fucking shitty thing to do. But throwing a minor into the mix, that's worse. I know I'm a hero for saying so. That's worse.
Right.
Colin, 720-619-2288. There's also a web link in the description. I'm going to find out with the people who are currently watching live, and there's 1,700 of you, how many of you are voting for Donald Trump. That's something that I would love to know. So I'm going to go, who are you voting for? And then if you answer Trump, consider calling in. We're just going to do Trump, Harris, and we'll do, what should we do? Someone else or ineligible, because there will be people who are either foreign, or maybe you're a felon in a place that can't get those voting rights back, or something. If for whatever reason, if you are completely ineligible to vote. Too. Hell yeah. Let's find out. Let's find out. We'll take the next calls here in just a moment, but I want to see how to the caller who is currently waiting from the web caller. No, I'm not interested, but you'll make a clip out of just this, and this is as much as you're getting. And I'm making a personal choice to just not give you any fuel. You can call back. You're not banned. Okay. For the record, you're not banned, but I don't feel like it. I'll tell you about that later, Owen, if you like, unless you already saw to what I was referring.
No,
but yeah, I'll tell you more about
it. But all right.
Yeah. I just don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. You'll get enough of a clip out of just that tiny little interaction. Oh man, we had another person who called in and then dropped, but we do have, let me see how this live is going before we take the next one. I'll still backseat. I'll still let you take the main, but we've got so far, it looks like 10 of you roughly are voting for Trump. 10 of you, someone else, 20% of 720-619-2288, 720-619-2288. If you want to tell us who you are going to vote for. And I hope that one of the, now we're up to like 12 of you so far in the chat who have said that you are going to vote for Trump, that you would have the bravery to never surrender like Donald Trump did to authorities in Georgia, to never surrender and call in and show us your patriotic bravery and explain to us not only why you would vote for Trump, but that I'm wrong to vote for Harris, even as a person who, again, I am not politically aligned with Harris. She is not a member of my party. I would not put that party in power if there was another option. I think they are irresponsible. And I think that they spend a lot of money to feel good about looking like they're doing something while doing a lot of nothing. But in the choices we have right now, I think it is a much better choice than Donald Trump. So if you want to call me and explain to me where I'm wrong or where Owen is wrong, because Owen is actually voting for Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, I voted for Bernie Sanders in 2016. Of course, I voted for Biden in 2020, ultimately in the in the general. I voted for Hillary in 2016 general also, but Bernie Sanders is the shit. I love that dude to death. It's a shame that he doesn't have more, stamina to run again, but I guess his time passed.
Yeah. It's sad that in our country, though, the only people on the actual left who have political parties are the moderate left, because that's where he is. Like, I was talking to Nemo earlier today about this. I love Bernie, too, just because he's at least on the left, the actual left. But he's also still so far right of Jeremy Corbyn, for example, left of center still. But in the UK, you at least have political parties from the actual left capable of influencing policy. And here we've got just a very small group of people. And again, they're mostly moderate left. They are just on the other side of moderate. But anyway.
I haven't thought about it. I knew that internationally the left is very different than in the US. I've heard that.
Very much. Yeah. The internationally, if you're on the left, you're a socialist. And if you're on the right, you're capitalist. It's a little bit more nuanced than that, but that's the general thing. Whereas here, the left is still capitalist. Am I glitching out as much to you as it looks like it's showing me I am?
No, I don't think so.
At all?
I'm not seeing that.
All right, it's not doing it this second. It's fine. Voss in France, you are on the line with Jimmy and Owen.
Am I on there?
Yes.
Yes.
Is this live?
Yes, this is live.
I've already gone ahead. Hey, Arden, let me know when you've done it.
You're good.
All right, go ahead, Voss. Voss, go ahead.
Did we lose him?
Hey, Voss, why aren't you attracted to anybody who is actually above the age of 18? Is it something from your past? So for people who don't know, that was this pedophile who keeps calling in. He's still on the line. I don't know why he's saying nothing, but he's still on the line. It's this pedophile who comes in who just is interested in saying some crazy, outrageous things. He wants to pretend. Sometimes he'll pretend to have some other point and then just turn to slurs and stuff. He's prepping to call me the R word. He's probably going to call me, he'll probably make some weird sexual accusations and is himself a pedophile.
Can you not hear him right now? It's set to go to A and B, and the levels are dancing. It didn't sound like Patrick to me, but you can't hear him?
No. Are our calls set to A and B, or are our calls set to master?
That is a great question. I thought they were all set to A and B default, but I don't do call in
studio.
So
you're saying it's not that guy?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know why you can't hear him. It must be the buses are set differently on this file.
When you click my call, does it say audio source bus A, or does it say audio source master?
Where do I see that? Do I click the cog on the...
No, just right click and then you'll see audio source.
Yes,
right
you are set to
call.
master. So I should set you to bus A.
Set me to bus A and set Owen to bus B, yeah.
All right, that should be set now, Voss, and you should be able to hear the caller now.
Go ahead, now you're on.
Technical difficulties.
Well, there was some audio stuff, and I thought you were a troll, that you were trying to Arden. It should still be set the way that... Is it still the way we want it?
Yeah, master is still not
Arden
on. Correct.
Arden, is M still off?
Huh. Sorry, that was funny. Because of the settings, my mic was also not set to A and B since I added this mic this time. So technical problem again. Yeah. Yes, it is still set where master is off, so you're good.
Great. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead there, Voss. You're good to go. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, you're live right now. Yeah, what did you want to say? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You gonna get to it? I hear you fine, Voss. You don't hear me? Kamala. Yeah, it's that guy. Hey, when are you going to admit that you're a troll? Yeah, okay. Bye, Patrick. Do you want to say any slurs before I drop you? Yeah. All right, we can turn Master back on, Arden. Though Arden is also screening a call right now.
Anyway, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
It's cool.
Just that
yeah,
pedophile.
it's fine. We'll just wait a second. So what's the deal with that guy? I haven't heard anything about this.
There's a guy who tries to get on air and tries to make sure, because we've tricked him so many times, that we actually get him live onto the air. So right now, you and I were hearing him, but not the audience. As soon as he knew the audience would hear him, that's when he would have started saying, like, last time he called me a polygamous Mormon white boy. Then another time he was calling me a rapist.
Wow.
Called Matt a rapist. And then likes to use the R slur a lot. He likes to use trans slurs. You know, just a dick. Arden, do we have Master back on? I think Arden is screening and trying to do I'm asking too much of her at once.
Yeah, that's
We should have gotten another screener tonight. Well, I just don't know if we take a call if other people hear it. Yeah, let me do. I'm gonna shoot her a message.
Okay. Why don't you do that and I'll talk for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. So I was reading about denazification after Germany fell or whatever. Really crazy stuff. I was approaching it like, what are we going to do? Or can we implement any of this for Trumpists and stuff? And the answer is probably no. I came to find that a lot of the tactics were basically the exact same tactics that it took to get the Nazis to where they are in the first place. So, you know, burning books, banning flags, imprisoning people that support this or that. That's what they did with denazification. And as far as I can understand it, it didn't denazify anybody. I don't think there's any way to mass unbrainwash people, but it did serve to kind of stick a wheel in the spokes of the movement, so the next generation didn't care as much about the Nazi movement, and the generation after that, the Nazis' grandchildren, are appalled by the whole thing. So the point is, I think that like cancel culture works now. I think that like putting preventing extremism from going out to unhindered or undebunked or whatever, at the very least, that's basically what causes the problem. So
oh man, Arden keeps going from one call to another with no break in between. I need to make sure that Master is on. Arden, please notice me, senpai. Oh goodness. We'll just have to take another second. It is very clear, and I'm sure that it's going to come up on other deals here. It's just going to be, yeah. I don't know what to do. We got to make sure. Actually, I could remote in again, maybe. No, I think I would need another permission. Let me see if I could or not. I go boop with that. She'd have to see that I'm asking for access. Give me access or give me death. We have decent calls lining up.
Yeah, we do. A bunch, actually.
At least I hope. We've been a little troll heavy tonight.
Yeah.
A little troll heavy. And unfortunately, when the one guy calls in, he usually tries to call back multiple times.
Oh, like fill in the airways. All right. So what's your favorite call that you've taken?
Recently, last week, by the end of a call, a person who said they were voting for Trump changed their vote to Harris.
All right, really?
That was pretty good. Yeah, that's rare. Good. Usually you're doing it for the audience, but this time it was not that. I'm trying to now access Arden's PC remotely, but she has to approve it, and I'm like, Oh, gosh darn it. Come on. Come on, gosh darn it. You got to let me in.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, Arden.
You want me to solve a problem? What's going on?
Is Master reactivated so we can take calls again?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, good. All right, thank you. You can keep going. There, you're great. Thank you. All right. Matthias in Wisconsin, you are on the line.
Gosh darn it, come on.
And we are in the background.
Matthias, what is this background noise? Matthias.
Here, is Master reactivated so we can take calls again?
Matthias,
Okay,
what are you doing, dude?
All right, thank you. You can keep going.
Good Lord, I'm waiting for him to hear his own name on the show.
Matthias in Wisconsin, you are on the line.
Are you here now?
Hello?
Matthias, that was a good 30 seconds. Why did you put the phone down and watch the show instead? Good Lord. Don't do that. Matthias, you're on the line. Yeah, no shit. I noticed. You're on the line with Jimmy and Owen. What do you need, man?
How you doing, boss? Thank you for taking my call. No, I don't like Trump because he's stupid. But I'm trying to get it how you do it, to get other people to admit how stupid he is just by asking questions.
My tactic is to not reveal how stupid he is. My tactic is to reveal how ignorant his supporters are and show them that they don't even know the foundations of their own beliefs. What about you, Owen?
What is my tactic for what? For talking about Trump or for pulling people away? I missed
combating
the question.
Stupid Trump supporters, I think was what he's asking.
Got it.
Yeah.
My tactic is to address the claims at their source, like conspiracy theories, QAnon conspiracies, and all of that stuff. I try to debunk that stuff. And also, I generally try to do it in like a calm, relaxed way for the most part, because I've found that people react or they respond better sometimes when I do that.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, for the most part where I live, there's a very blue-collar community. And I asked them, like, name me one policy that actually helped you. Name me one thing that he did that reflects in your community, or how does it affect you in your taxes, or anything. Give me one reason why you're voting for them. And most of the time they just start with stupidity that has nothing to do with what I literally asked them.
Yeah, it's wild to listen to people absolutely not care about policy at all. And then just when you start debunking their stuff, they just keep backing off onto brand new conspiracy theories. And it's just wild to see. And sometimes you've really got to pin them down and make them face the fact that they were wrong about this, force concessions and stuff. But it is an uphill battle.
Yeah, because, lately we have had an influx here of immigrants. And I don't know if I even know if I can call them immigrants, because they're usually from Puerto Rico, which as soon as they're here, they're basically citizens. But it's either that or trans, or they're going to make butcher my kids and make them gay. Stupid shit like that.
It's insane, yeah. Immigration is actually really good. I don't understand why people are so dead set against it. It blows me away.
Well, I mean, I understand why, because there's a lot of people that come here and fuck it up, and then, yes, there should be a better way, but nobody's helping to try to make a change for that.
That immigrants commit less crime per capita than citizens do. So it's actually...
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's a good thing. There's literally no... You know what else immigration does? An increase in immigration? It boosts an economy. Adding large numbers of people to an economy gives it a massive boost and builds it up. I really don't know what other... There's one reason why people would be opposed to immigration that I can think of. One.
Fear?
Racism. Yeah. It's racism. That's it. I don't know why else. And every time we get somebody calling in, talking about an open border or whatever, I just don't know what to do with it. Can I crack that thick skull of theirs get through to them. It's insane.
Yeah, but I mean, with immigration, it's the system that's broken. And the people that are coming and are turning in the borders, they are not doing anything wrong. Those are the rules of the game, and they are playing the game. That we cannot satisfy that. It's the U.S. problem, not the immigrants. They are playing by the rules that they were given.
You know what else? Most of the people that are coming over the border are not immigrants, but refugees. And the UN requires the United States to have a refugee corridor, like a humanitarian corridor from the border to a UN refugee center. And we did have that. But then Abbott started putting razor wire all over everything and cutting people to ribbons. So anyway, I don't know how the U.S. keeps violating international law and nobody is saying anything, or I guess it's just nothing anyone can do. It just blows me away.
Yeah, I mean, that's the right word to use. Who can say anything to the U.S.? No one yet.
Other U.S. citizens?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what we have to do.
I was really young when the Iraq War happened. I don't really remember much about it, except that I was in favor of it when I was like 10,
Yeah, I thought I was too.
But it's crazy to know how absolutely insane Americans got whipped into this insane mindset, and we're ready to go to war with anybody for any reason. And that's what happened. Looking back, who's going to stop the U.S.? Who could possibly stop the U.S. in that case?
I don't know. So I lived most of my growing up years in El Salvador. We had a huge problem there with the gangs, MS-13, MS-18.
Yeah.
That, for ignorant people, that started in California. It didn't start in the States. In El Salvador. We have this new president. He changed the country around, but he fucked a lot of people.
Sure.
We have.
Matthias, go ahead and give your final point here, though, because we do got to wrap it up. And as much as I like just people I agree with, there's just not much here.
Okay, well, thank you guys.
Sure.
Keep doing the good work. And fuck Trump.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
That's right. See ya. I wish more people would take that advice, but it is harder than ever to get fucked by Trump. For Trump, to Trump, frankly.
Do you have a disguise or something? Don't you have one of those or something like that? Where's your thing?
I'm around here somewhere. I don't know where it went. It might be downstairs. I might have tried to... I might have been on a video call flirting with somebody and was like, let me go ahead and ruin this real quick. You are looking really nice. Frankly, so good.
Oh my God,
I think that did happen, so it's not in here.
Okay.
Right as I was about to take the call from the Jill Stein voter, they gave up and they left. My goodness. Come on. Damn. Oh, well. Let's see.
Opus Dei. Somebody with Opus Dei here.
Is everybody... Okay, hang on.
I just sent you a message that probably is going to answer the question I think you were about to ask. So if you're saying are all the callers not Trump voters, then yes, none of them are Trump voters. I let them all know that wasn't our ideal caller and that you might drop them.
We're going to speed round them really quick. Because hey, Trump voters, you're so brave, except for on here. Is it because you can't point a gun at me while you're telling? What's your problem? I'm not going to shoot you. I'm not going to take your guns. Get on the fucking line. Come on. We'll go fast. Tyler in New York. Go quick. You get 30 seconds to talk about recent reports of Trump campaigns tied to Opus Dei. Go.
Okay, so recently, well, actually, not recently, but when Project 2025 first became public knowledge, some people quickly found out that there was a guy in particular that was connected to all of this. His name is Leonard Leo, and he is behind a lot of dark money that is involved with Project 2025 and Opus Dei. Opus Dei is a specific sect of the Catholic Church, not every Catholic, all right? So don't feel persecuted, all right? This is an anti-Catholic persecution, but this particular sect really likes to focus on subterfuge and deception. And
was this the one that Anne
these
is
guys
from?
have a lot of involvement.
What's Amy Coney Barrett? Is this the one Coney Barrett's from?
No, that's a different one. That's the friendship something or other. I forget. But Kevin Roberts, you know Kevin Roberts? He is in this. He's like the leader, the head of the Heritage Foundation, and there are a bunch of others. Bill Barr is Opus Dei, and yeah, it's kind of a Catholic cult.
And Eileen Cannon as well.
I didn't know that. Wow.
I mean, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not going to just assume you're right.
And I'm just wondering, what the fuck can we do to fucking fight back against this? This is clearly a foreign influence, not a foreign nation, mind you, but it's still foreign influence because it is a foreign organization attempting to sink its claws in our democracy. And I don't like that.
Yeah, we got to fight back against it. Yep.
Go vote and activate other people to vote, Tyler. Right now, vote. That's the most important thing right now. There's lots more you can do after, but right now, vote and activate other people to vote.
Yeah, talk about it with others.
Cool. Thank you, Tyler.
Also, hey, wait. I got one more thing to say.
Very quickly.
First, okay. So, to the French pedophile, I hope the feds find your fucking hard drive.
Thanks, Tyler. Okay, good. Thank you, Tyler. We're moving on. Thanks. Goodbye. All right, this person I actually want to talk to. It sounds like they might be a Trump person. No, they're a Jill Stein person. Okay, whatever. But Vinny in Washington says Kamala is LARPing about guns and wants to take away our guns. Go ahead, Vinny.
Can you hear me?
I sure do, Vinny.
So do you think Kamala's a gun owner?
Kamala.
Do you think she's a gun owner? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I know. Well,
probably.
She has said she's a gun owner. I take her word for it. Vinny, how old are you?
Just crazy.
Okay, goodbye. Okay, I don't need, it's the night of the trolls. I guess you are asking for Trump calls, but it's just going to be fucking trolls. That was a person pretending to be from Washington State saying that they vote for Jill Stein, but their IP address was from Vancouver, and they were very clearly a child. So, the fuck is going on tonight? Jesus fucking Christ. Jim, you're calling to say that Donald Trump is a terrible Republican and Republican policies are not in line with what Trump says he'll do, right?
Yeah.
Great. You have 15 more seconds because that is not the topic tonight. Go ahead. Make your point. We're not doing an open mic here. Go ahead.
I am just agreeing with you. Honestly, I called in earlier because some other caller said very poorly about how Trump did say we're going to take the firearms first and then go to court. So this was back in 2018, but a ton of Republican policies Trump is contrary to. So I don't understand how even Republicans want to vote for him.
Yeah, I'm not actually familiar with him saying we're going to take the guns and then whatever. I don't remember hearing about that. But anyway, I did hear the other caller.
He was saying
that.
about I think it was for school shooters and things like that you could go in preemptively and take guns and then
okay.
Which
it was about red flag laws after
just...
Stoneman Douglas High School.
Yeah,
and he was actually. Yeah, it was a press conference with Mike Pence and Donald Trump, and Trump is actually interrupting Pence the entire time. So it's actually a very funny clip to watch.
Cool. Well, thank you, Jim.
But,
I like your name.
If it wasn't so sad, because, there are tons of things with Trump is contrary to Republican beliefs. I mean, that's completely opposite of the Second Amendment. This last caller was talking about how Kamala wanted to take the guns. Trump said, I'm going to take your guns without due process.
Jim.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I'm agreeing with you.
Thank you for the call, Jim.
Thank you.
You're good. I agree with you too. Thank you, Jim. Man, even people on our side think I'm a narcissist who wants to just hear that people agree with me. Jeez. Mike in Florida, finally, a caller that maybe we can have some actual chats with. Mike in Florida, you are considering voting for Trump because of his nuclear power policy, but you also sound like you're kind of laughing over there, so I'm worried it's just another dumb troll night.
Oh, no. Hello. Yeah, so nuclear power policy is the most important thing to me because I think it's the only way we're going to be able to combat climate change. And so under Trump, 2 new nuclear power plants started construction for the first time in 30 years. And both Trump and the Biden-Harris administration, they both passed pro-nuclear policies, but Trump actually got 2 new plants for the first time in 30 years. So that's what I'm considering.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is they both have yeah, go ahead. You can go first if you want. I apologize. I was
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. So you're telling me that Donald Trump has actually passed nuclear policy, or I'm sorry, actually opened nuclear power plants, but Kamala Harris is just in favor of nuclear power rather than actually passing nuclear, or rather than opening nuclear plants. Is that right?
Yeah. He passed pro-nuclear policy, and Biden and Harris also passed pro-nuclear policy, but he's actually gotten 2 new plants done, like opened. So
okay. And
no. They were not. They were not completed in his thing, but he did approve of 2 new reactors.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
actually,
by the way,
started construction.
By the way, a thing that was already destined to happen because the construction started in 2013. The timing of seeking the approval was the time that Trump was president, and had Hillary been in, she certainly would have approved those as well. So worth pointing out that it's not that he went and got those nuclear plants, because again, construction started in 2013 before he was president. They actually started under Obama with an understanding that we now had an administration where they could work on this. Right. But he was there when the actual approval for it needed to be, and he signed what any president in that position would have signed. So it isn't that he's special. He didn't do anything particularly good. And again, it's the Obama policies that actually encouraged Vogtle, is that how you say it? The Vogtle plant in Georgia to actually be built. But he got to sign the approval and somehow gets all of the credit. Again, even though Harris and Biden have both been nuclear supporting. However, the difference in their energy plans is Trump wants to expand nuclear while also expanding consumption and production of oil and coal products. In other words, fuck the environment, whereas the Biden-Harris administration wants to include nuclear as part of going toward a zero nuclear emission and clean energy initiative. So even if you sit there and say nuclear power is the only thing I am going to vote on, that's not better. He just happened to be the guy who got to sign the approval when the time to get the approval was up.
Yeah. So are you in favor of like cleaning up the environment, or are you just in favor of nuclear power? Because if you're in favor of the environment, it's Harris.
Yeah, I think climate change is the most important issue, and I think nuclear power is the only way we're going to be able to combat it.
So which one do you want? The policy that is nuclear to solve climate change, or the policy that is nuclear and we're going to ignore climate change?
To solve it, of course.
Then you're going to vote for Harris if that's really it. But by the way, it's crazy that that's your only thing you would have voted on too. I would have, if hers was worse than Trump, I would have still gone, yeah, but I care about women, people with uteruses general, trans folk, queer folk, treatment of people of colors, bastardizing immigrants. All of those things are also important to me in the nuclear. But in fairness, Mike, I only asked for one good reason, and you did try to present that. I hope now that you have been corrected on the fact that what Donald Trump did was just not stop the plant from opening. That's literally all he did. He didn't stop it. He had the power to stop the plant. He signed the approval, thereby not stopping it.
Which is surprising.
And just as Hillary would have done. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that about it like being what do you say started under Obama?
2013. The Frogtool, Georgia plant is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there was another one also. I forget. But yeah, I didn't know about that, so thank you. So,
I think.
So you'll be voting Harris now?
I'm more likely to now. So yeah. Thank you.
Go fact check everything I just said. Feel free, as long as if that's really your one thing you're voting on, then it is actually incorrect if both climate change would be a part of it. It would be incorrect to say that Trump would be better. He would actually be worse.
Yeah, I agree.
And even if you take climate change out, they're just the same, basically, the two of them.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Bye.
We changed the mind. That's one down. We've got
Right.
millions more of these to do, Owen. Do you have the
No, I
next?
think
we're going to have to go nonstop till the election.
Okay. I think Matthew might have moved over. I don't know. I think maybe Matthew's going to go back and take a look. But yeah, I mean, do you want to hit another one? We got another caller here.
Flashing my tum-tum. Yeah, I
saw
think
that.
we've had lots of callers. Even after we said we don't need all of these supportive callers, I think they've been being flooded with it, or people wanting to yeah, Arden, by the way, let me know what happened with that. The person who was, just send me a message. What was happening with the person who lied about being in Washington when they were in Canada and seeming to be a child? Let me know if you knew anything else on
They
that.
seem to be a child. I didn't hear.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I might have been
they sound like a child to me, and then I asked while they were on how old they were, and they went, "That's creepy," and so I hung up because they sounded exactly like a child to me. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't remember talking to a child, so maybe
That's
they
weird.
put someone else on.
Word.
I don't know, or they're just trolling. Who knows?
Word. All right. We'll see if we want to take any of these last calls after you screen them, but otherwise we'll probably do super chats after the next little bunch of them. But it looks like there might be a couple of actual Trump voters calling in. In the meantime, we'll quickly talk to Vladimir in Michigan, who is a caller who can't vote but is here under political asylum working to get voters against Trump. Vladimir, is there a specific question you have?
No, it's a pleasure to talk to both of you. I watch both of your shows. It's great. And I just wanted to cut in real quick and just say, I've been here for over 20 years. I don't know if you can hear my accent, but politics has always just been an old, boring thing that, my generation, a lot of us really didn't care about. It was boring old white people shit, pardon my French. And now it's on a whole nother level. Some of the lies that I hear, that they're bringing immigrants in to steal your vote. I can't vote. I have to go through this whole process. It takes forever for me to be able to vote. The lies that I hear about immigrants being brought in to steal votes is just absurd. As Trump would say, no one's ever seen anything ever like it. And also, this whole gun thing with Harris and everything. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I make gun content and video game content. And you know what? I love my guns, but I love my democracy even more. I've been to other crappy countries and I've seen how their government is. And, I don't know how else to say it, but it really seems like a lot of the YouTube gun channels are all pro-Trump, as if he's going to somehow save their guns or something. I don't know how these guys are brainwashed.
He's actually been worse.
Because, right,
He has
did
said
the
more
bump
radical
stock
things
ban.
than she has. But also had
I've never
people talking
seen-
about before that you could bypass, you could go get the guns first and then assess and give back later. Technically, he's been worse on the Second Amendment than her. But I
Right.
will
Well, the
tell you
only
this,
good
Vladimir.
thing Trump did. Yeah.
Hang on, Vlad. The idea that it used to just be old white men shit was actually a bad thing. So are things terrible now? Yes, they are terrible. But more people involved technically is a good thing, and more eyes on it, because 20 years ago, things were also a lot worse for people like myself, who is kind of an old white guy. I'm getting there, but I'm also a queer. And 20 years ago, I wasn't allowed to marry Owen if I wanted to. And Owen still is allowed to not marry me, as he reminds me constantly. But I couldn't marry 20 years ago because politics was old white men shit. And interracial marriage is something that still became okay in the last century. But also the civil rights movement, all these things that we haven't done yet, like the ERA. There's so much stuff still to do. And because it has typically been old white men shit that nobody paid attention to, because there was a time where it felt impossible to affect change. But now just some fucking random moron, can get, how many people are watching right now? 1,722 people on a random Friday night with very little warning to just come and talk shit about a political party, which will then get pushed out to thousands more people, and then little clips will go out, little things. And the fact that we can now, as individual citizens, affect change and community organize, even if we live in a remote little hodunk farm town like I do and don't otherwise have many other connections to the outside world, that has empowered us to actually make change and move things.
And that is a very awesome point. I fully agree with that. I'm not against any of that at all. I'm all for being progressive and having an amazing country to live in where everybody is happy. I just don't think Trump and all his crazy lies are going to get us anywhere near there. He's already had 4 years talking about drain the swamp. Bro, you are the swamp. Your whole cabinet doesn't want to work with you. Liz Cheney and her family is voting against you. I mean, you are turning hardcore Republicans against you. So I think there is a big change coming. Like what you just said right now about shows like this being a voice now. I'm seeing a lot more people doing things to combat all of this BS. I can't vote. I run respite care homes. I'm making sure that every single disabled person that is in my care can vote. And guess what? None of them want to vote for Trump. None of their families want to vote for Trump.
He's not popular.
His crowd sizes. No, we hate him in Michigan. His crowd sizes have been terrible here. That's really what he bitches and cries about. And it makes me proud to be a Michigan man. By the way, tell Matt Dillahunty I said hello. Big fan of the whole network. And
Great.
Yeah, you guys will see me out
now
there.
you're getting weird.
Mobile Gamers Unite.
All right. Thanks, lad. See ya. Feel like that was more of a channel promoting call, but who knows? Jacob in Tennessee, you are on the line with Jimmy and Owen, and you are potentially voting for Trump, and you want to talk about Trump's plans for healthcare. Trump will probably listen to this call since he currently doesn't have a plan for healthcare, just says he wants to repeal certain things and does not have a method to replace it in any way that would actually take care of people. So go ahead and let us know what you want to talk about regarding his healthcare project and his concept of plans. Jacob.
Oh, no.
Jacob in Tennessee, you waited on the hold to not respond? Jacob, Tennessee, you're on the line. Jacob, you are on the line with Jimmy Snow and Owen. Jacob. All right, well, we're going to return you to the queue, and we'll try again in a minute and see if it works out. Potentially a non-troll Trump caller. I think we only had one of those so far tonight, and everybody else was just being fucking weird, a bunch of weirdos. I have my doubts about this call, but let's find out. James in Canada, you are on the line with Jimmy and Owen.
How's it going?
What?
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Why does your phone sound like you're trying to talk to us through a telegraph machine?
Here, is this better?
Can you get away from the Tesla coil that you're standing underneath?
Sorry about that. Does that matter?
A little bit.
Kind of. Are you on speakerphone? Can you just switch to something else?
Yeah, and hey, Dad.
What?
This is the best I can do.
All right, we'll go ahead and give your point.
Yeah, first of all, how are you guys doing?
Oh, just
Doing
peachy.
well.
But your audio's so bad, I'd rather get to the point so we can get through this quick.
Thank you. I think... Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you. Just make the point.
Okay. See, who's best for Canada?
I don't care who's best for Canada. You guys are a fully formed democracy. You are a fully formed, rich democracy that can handle your own shit. I care about who's better for Gaza. I care about who's better for the Middle East. I care about who's better for American citizens. But right now, you clean up your own fucking shit. And if you're literally sitting there going, he's better, when he kept hosing you guys on trade shit and actually not being better, I don't know if you're just trying to look for a group to blame for the fact that Canada is now letting radical right-wing populism take hold and potentially undermine institutions that actually work there. But I legitimately don't care. You can't vote anyway, but I don't give a fuck when you guys are you are more than operational enough to handle your own shit. I care who's best for people in general, the world, wars, people who are going to die, and no one in Canada is going to die because Harris wins election over Trump, but more people will die in the Middle East because Trump wins over Harris.
She's giving me about Gaza, then Canada.
Sorry? What's that?
She's giving me about Gaza than Canada.
Cares more about Gaza than Canada, I think.
Yes, I care more about whether innocent Gazans are going to die than whether or not, I don't even know what you think the benefit is going to be, whether or not you get some weird unclaimed benefit from a Trump presidency as a Canadian in a rich, developed country. I care very much more about innocent people without all of the privileges you have than whether or not, like, what? We're going to make you pay more for our bread? What is it you think that Harris is going to do to you?
Yeah, they're really be invaded right now due to the Biden admin.
What did he say? What is he saying?
I can't understand. It's the audio. Is
this a character? Is it a bit? What is this?
We're being invaded. We're being invaded because of Biden.
We're being invaded.
You're being invaded
because of
by who?
India.
You're being invaded by India because of Biden, even though you have your own sovereign borders and get to make your own decisions about refugees. And by the way, when Trump is in, we end up taking less refugees because we just have racist policies, which actually means even if you are motivated by racism, which clearly you are, James, even if you are motivated by racism, you want Harris to be in because that means we will take more Indian people who are seeking asylum or refugee status. Therefore, the other countries will have to take fewer to make up the burden. So even your attempt to try to figure out a way like, well, I'm racist and Trump's racist, so that would be better, right? Actually, even that doesn't work out.
Wow, that audio.
Yeah, all right. Get your telegraph machine checked, you fucking idiot.
That was
Jesus
rough.
Christ. Jacob in Tennessee, are you there this time? Jacob in Tennessee, you're on the line. Jacob.
I had a bit of
there you go.
Emergency. I got a little bit of a kitchen fire. If you can put me on hold for about 5 minutes, if you can put me on hold for about 5 minutes or so, 5, 6, 7 minutes, come back. I'll be happy to talk to you.
Nah, we're wrapping up the show, bud. But please take care, and we'll have more live shows. Just call in tomorrow or next weekend or the weekend after. We'll have more. But good luck with your fire. Go take care of that.
I just want to say,
Telltale will be back.
I love you, man. I love you, man. Good to like him.
Okay, Trump.
You used to be Jimmy
Trump,
too.
A Trump voter is like, what's that? You used to like me? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Why aren't you putting out your kitchen fire?
I am. I'm multitask. It's not that big of a fire, but I'm opening some doors, letting some smoke come in, or letting some smoke come out.
Okay.
Getting a little crazy. Okay, I think I've got it covered up.
Is the reason you don't like me anymore is because last time you called me, I owed you up and down the corridor? Owned you up and down the corridor?
Well, no. Well, a couple things.
Yeah.
You know, you're asking me for a PMID for the study I was talking about, right?
Yeah. I remember. No. It wasn't just that I asked you for a PMID. We asked you for several things, and after 20 minutes, gave up on getting the study out of you.
PMID.
And we asked you for the title, we asked you to locate it, and you admitted that you had only read the summary. Also, we weren't able to actually establish during it that you weren't even actually sharing a study. You were sharing a protocol. The protocol which cites studies does not mean that it is consistent with the finding of studies. In fact, if you go and check them, you will find that it is inconsistent with several studies. And Jacob, you have basically said on the air, I heard you say it yesterday, that specifically you believe we should listen to not you, but the experts who agree with you, but not the experts who disagree with you, even though they represent the overwhelming consensus when it comes to trans care. So anyway, Jacob, do you want to get spanked again? No, you actually said you should believe them.
Okay, well, let me.
What is your question?
You should consider my position. My question was.
No, I shouldn't. I know
PMID.
your position better than you. I could defend your position better than you can.
Do you know why I didn't have a PMID though?
I know why you're trying to isolate down to the one thing when we asked you for several ways to find it.
PID number.
Oh, Jacob. Hey, guess what? Like I just said, I know you're trying to why you're trying to isolate it down to the one. Jacob. Hey, Jacob.
European studies still have PMIDs.
Yes. Yeah. So by the way, Jacob, you're muted now since you're trying to talk over and you're trying to think that you're going to get European studies do actually have PMID, you moron. But also we asked you for several other ways to find it. And now you're sitting here trying to pretend like it was just that one that you couldn't come up with. In fact, Forrest suggested several other types of identifiers in case PMID wasn't sufficient. And you couldn't present anything. We spent 20 minutes trying to get one study to figure it out. A study that once again, you were only able to say you had read the summary of and told us, therefore, your position is valid and that is more important to you than what all of the consensus information is on because you think it's more current. And then you still haven't admitted how embarrassing it was that you were claiming it was a study when it turned out to be a protocol. I will now unmute you, but go ahead, you transphobic ass
Is this what's going to happen this time? I don't get to speak at all and you just mute me and talk over me? I'd love to have a conversation.
Yep. Every time I want to. Every time I want to. I will definitely do
that. We
that.
go back and forth and actually have a conversation. Can we do
I want to do that with people who actually, I want to do that with people who actually behave honestly, who are good faith interlocutors and not people who will waste 20 minutes to just get us to a study that they haven't actually read. They just skimmed the summary and thinks that it.
You muted me when I told you that was.
Oh, you were joking. It was that 20-minute call was a whole joke.
I never got to clear it up. It was an article.
It was all 20 minutes of a joke.
Research journal. No, you never.
It was a protocol. It was a protocol, not a study, and it is not does not even match the consensus.
People are hammering you.
Yes. Jacob, I am aware that transphobes, shut the fuck up, Jacob. I'm aware that transphobes get together with other transphobes. Guess what happens, Jacob, on every single clip or call that we talk about trans stuff? Exactly what you're describing. No, hey, how come everybody agrees with you on everything? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I'm muting you again, you dumb piece of shit. Whenever you bring up trans issues, the comments always turn into, wow, I really thought Jimmy handled that wrong, or these people are just so woke. The way that specifically trans call, yeah, guess what, Jacob? Most people are transphobic and like you don't actually need to know the information as you basically brag about it because you just get summaries from protocols of other language things that you think exist that don't even say what you say it says, and the studies which it cites are in some cases actually contradictory to it. So the fact that we have the better facts and information do not affect one iota whether or not a bunch of transphobic douchebags will pretend to skeptic talk in the comments and go, well, by the way, Jacob, what even is that argument? Look at the comments. It's like the shittiest argument ad populum I've ever heard. And you're not even the victor in that. You're just saying there are more than usual you would see support, but you aren't the one getting the primary support. Should I also argument add comment section? Hey, everybody, leave a comment on who's right, the transphobe or the actual skeptic who actually knows his shit. And the person who will be correct will not be the person with the best facts, just whoever got the most comments. Jacob, you show that you only know how to argue fallaciously and that you're not particularly a deep thinker and you don't understand how to engage with actual data and studies. Now you're unmuted again.
So you completely misinterpreted what I said. You commented there and went on a rant for 3 minutes about something I didn't even say.
What is Trump's plan for healthcare, since that's what you called in, and I'm entirely bored of you being full of shit? No. What is Trump's plan for healthcare?
Let me clarify what I said.
No, you can't.
Clarify what I said.
Nope, I'm telling you no. You can talk about Trump's plan for healthcare or nothing at all.
Okay. So I'm just trying to have a conversation, Jimmy. That's it. I just want to talk. I speak, you speak. We have a conversation, open dialogue.
This isn't Trump's healthcare plan. I told you Trump's health. Jacob, Trump's healthcare plan or fucking nothing. Which one?
I'm trying to talk about Trump's healthcare plan.
Go ahead, because you're not talking about it right now. Go ahead. Nope. Nope.
Okay.
Trump's healthcare plan or nothing.
I'm getting there. Okay, so I've got multiple studies I'm happy to reference, give you the PMI idea of.
Don't even know if you know what a study is. Go ahead.
That are showing the evidence for why Europe is switching the protocol when treating trans youth.
Nope, Jacob, nope. You said you were calling in for Trump's healthcare plan, and now you are trying to go back to trans stuff. Are you here to call about Trump's healthcare plan?
As it relates,
you did not say that to the screener. You did not say that to the screener. Trans youth are not allowed to physically transition. You are not allowed to get a surgery in this country if you are a youth to have your genitals reassigned. The only care that is available to youth are the same types of care that are available to cis youth also, whether it's for precocious puberty or other issues people have where they are not their puberty is not going fast enough, or they have height issues, or something is up with the development of their breast. Yes, it can be too much or too little because of something that's inhibited. The exact same stuff that is available to cis kids are available to trans kids. So nothing of that has changed, and nobody is proposing anything like that change. You can talk about if the only thing you care about is whether or not this fake thing is being extended to people, and you're just calling to once again, for like the 5th call in a row, be shown what a fucking idiot you are to go, here's a selective study when I went and Googled and found that this is a study that agreed with me and this is a study that agreed with me. When you cannot summarize the actual studies out there, the actual evidence that the consensus reflects, when you can't argue my position, when I can argue yours easily, because I actually do know both sides, I find you entirely uncompelling and a waste of time.
So you're not even willing to have the conversation?
You're right. Since you're whining about it again, even though I just paused to give it back to you, you're right. Now, since you're just going to whine about this every time, I'm not. Let's move on to Super Chats. Good night, Jacob. Fuck you in your fucking face. What a waste of time all the last 5 calls before this were, as was this one. He's not a troll. He's just an idiot. Huh?
Few good calls. We got some good calls, though. Couple.
Yeah. There was some okay ones. Tonight was dumb. There's just too many trolls.
I want to urge viewers who are frustrated with not getting to hear Jacob's story to go watch TACIS yesterday. We gave him a full runway to pitch his bullshit, and we explained all of the reasons why it was so stupid. He doesn't understand any of this stuff at all. Seeing an article about how a country is handling protocol is not a study. Anyway, sorry to host blame.
He told a trans doctor who actually helps people, who actually treats people, including trans people, that his position is better than the doctor's position on the basis of, well, because I've read this one study and these things that I've Googled, not actually understanding why the consensus is as such. It's the absolute height of the demonstration of Dunning-Kruger. And that is Jacob's middle names, I assume. This was at the beginning of the show. Hey, put in your super chat now, especially at $5 or more, to welcome Owen to the line. Remember that we actually pay our hosts and we do it all by profit share. So if you want to be like, Owen, we want this to have been a lucrative night for you and for you to come back, definitely call now. Look at this old ass camera that's just jumping around. I'm going to fidget with it while we do stuff. Old Minolta from the 70s.
Oh, wow. Jesus Christ. That's crazy.
It's actually the camera my dad had on his Mormon mission. It's the one he took on his mission with him.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Got a nice little zoom lens on it. Variable aperture. It's pretty fun. Anyway, I'm going to fidget with it while we're doing this. Cedar Sound Studio said, audio engineer here. Jimmy, your audio is panned so far left that it's wearing a Che Guevara t-shirt and right and voting for Bernie. Well, I'm also panned, so I had to do a little bit of that. I'm that panned and I'm that left. Next one, pretty please. This one, if you want to trade on reading these out.
1K, thoughts on having Planet Peterson as a guest in the future? He seems like a solid option. Never heard of him. Do you know of him?
I've never heard of him either, but his name reminds me of Jordan Peterson, so he makes me very weary. I assume there are other Petersons. In fact, I've known many Petersons growing up. By the way, do you have any friends in Utah?
Me? No, I don't.
I think it's really funny when I talk to my friends in Utah and they're like, yeah, I was just talking to, and how many quintessential like Mormon names there are out there where they're like, yeah, so I was talking to this guy, his name's Fred, by the way. And like, by the way is a super Mormon last name. I don't even know if people know that by the way exists outside of Mormon names. Yeah. By the way, all one word. Okay, yeah, Planet Peterson does not look like he is related in any way to Jordan Peterson. I bet he gets that a lot. I was worried this was going to be a Jordan Peterson thing. I have no idea. Get him to get the attention of some other host and ask, and then that's pretty much how I find out about people and book them. That one of the hosts tells me, hey, I'd like to have this guy on. But anyway, was it? Oh, yeah. And then so today I was talking to someone there, and I don't know why this is on my mind, but they were just like, oh, yes, Brad Shumway. And I was like, oh, I miss the old Mormon names. Mormonism is honestly low-key becoming its own ethnicity, a white ethnicity. Let's be clear, but it's there's certain like culturally consistent thing. They even have their own foods. You haven't lived until you have funeral potatoes is an ironic sentence, but you really haven't. They're fucking phenomenal. At some point they must have. I don't know. I don't know why those are like. I assume it was families early on, and that they just expanded out there, and so they've kind of become ubiquitous in Utah, and maybe other places are a little rarer. But yeah, yeah. The also another big Mormon name, Bundy. Funny enough,
that is funny.
It's actually not that big, but Ammon Bundy. Ammon Bundy and his little family of Bundys with their trying to occupy buildings back in when was that, like 2013? You remember that shit?
Yeah, I do remember that. Oh my god, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, his name was Ammon.
Let me see if ChatGPT knows.
And his dad
Ammon's a very cliche Mormon first name. I think so. That sounds right. And they were trying to take back their land.
Yeah, I remember because the dude set like a massive fire on his land and it like burned out this whole thing, and it's illegal to do that, I think, because it's dangerous. And he like went through this whole big ridiculous thing. Yeah.
Definitely a lot of Kimballs. A lot of Kimballs in the Mormon church. A lot of Ballards. There's some of these are just because that's some of the apostles' names and stuff, but I'm surprised this one didn't know names like Shumway and By the Way, and I don't know. I'm sure there's some other ex-Mormon watching right now who's like, oh, he's forgetting about this one. Anyway, send your super chats in now because the show ends when we run out of them. Lady Alice says, oh boy, another delectable episode. I think she meant episode. Some sweet, salty, and a healthy dose of oh mommy. Thank you so much for helping my family out and educating.
Got $5 from Monkey at Typewriter. Sometimes I just think that Trumpers like tribe mentality and don't care about any of the issues. I know that's not actually likely, but Jesus. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you were aware of this, but you know that like racism is a fully learned like behavior. It is not something that's like innate in human beings or whatever.
Yep. And they've even done studies to show that if you're born and raised in America, even if you are a person of color, those children will have internalized the racism toward people of color as well.
Did
you
not
seen
know
those
about
where they
that.
like take kids off? Yeah. They'll have kids like look at pictures and go, which one of these two do you think is the good person and which one do you think is the bad person? And both the white and the brown kids will point to the white kid as the good person and the brown kid as the bad person.
Damn.
Yeah. Yep. Because of media. Did I do the last one or is this one you?
This is you.
Shane Rolton says, now you have Owen. How do we get more JW coverage on the line? Well, I think that's part of the point in the future is to do some more cult-directed shows as things develop out and talking about not just deconstruction from religion, but that next level of deconstruction where cults are involved.
Yeah.
This one's definitely you.
This one, me. Monkey at typewriter. Yesterday was World Teachers Day. Don't make history teachers mention Donald Trump every time Grover Cleveland comes up in class. That's just cool. Super sad that kids are going to have to learn about Donald Trump in history class now. My God, we had 4 years of just nonstop BS being fed into us from the news cycle because he works the news cycle over so much. So anyway, it's just insufferable.
I feel for the point maker, but I'd like to give you a vestige of my childhood. Latter-day Prophets are number one. Joseph Smith and Brigham Young. John Taylor is third. We know them. Wilford Woodruff, Lorenzo Snow. Joseph F. Smith, remember the F. Heber J. Grant, then George Albert Smith. David O. McKay was followed by Joseph Fielding Smith. Then Harold B. Lee, Spencer W. Kimball, Leslie Tapp Benson, Howard W. Hunter. Gordon B. Hinckley knows the way. We hear and follow his words today. So, dude, kids will survive.
That is crazy that they have like that whole song.
Yeah, now there's two more. Gordon B. Hinckley, Thomas S. Monson, Russell M. Nelson knows the way. We hear and follow his words today.
That's nuts, man. It's almost like they're like worshiping these people. I don't know.
Yeah, it is like that. It is exactly like that. You're right. Fucking Christ. And now, I mean, Russ is running, quote unquote, running the show. All of the like Biden conspiracies are kind of actually happening in Mormonism. Russ is basically what Republicans think Biden is doing, just like sitting in a chair all day. Just, and the backup band, Dallin H. Oaks, is running the show.
Russ, is that anything like soaking? I'm trying to figure out like what the Mormon terminology is.
Which word did I use?
You said Russ? Is that a person?
Russell M. Nelson, the current prophet of the Mormon Church.
I got you.
Yeah.
Right.
Good old Russ. Good old
She's
Russy
looking for
boy.
an opportunity to talk about soaking.
Yeah. I was really just looking for an opportunity to sit back and cross my arms and show people how hot I'm getting.
Yeah.
Oh, man. As of today, I've passed the line of nearly 50 pounds. As of today, I've lost 50 pounds.
All right. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That is
since
the shit.
April. Thanks, man. Thanks. I was
long journey,
real
right?
Unhealthy. Still other health stuff going on, but it's cool that part's gotten so much better.
Yeah, honestly, that's pretty good from April. That's really good, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too good.
Is it
really.
me or you?
So, I mean,
yeah.
in fairness,
for
my health, my diet is so boring. And so I have to do it for my health. So it's kind of easy to lose weight because I'm not craving any of the foods I can eat anyway.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah, this is, I'll do it. $5 from Lex the Lion. Is there a community support space like Discord? I've been homeschooled my entire life and want to get better at sources and valid evidence for stuff. As far as what you're describing of like, not really. I mean, we have a Discord that I check in on, and we're going to use more in the future for the Lion Patreon, but we're not trying to put important stuff in there. We're not trying we're just trying to make like kind of a fun community that people want to support the channel. Overall, when people are looking for secular communities, I always suggest they look at recoveringfromreligion.org as far as replacing church. But as far as like teaching you how to, or good places to go to fact check things, I'm not sure I can think of a community I would recommend. We're not going to run just a general open community because we've tried that in the past on Discords and pedophiles show up. So we've given up on
right?
that.
I know. What the hell is going on? That happened in my Discord too, like years ago.
It's always pedophiles. It's like fucking crazy. Or otherwise men being sexually aggressive to women.
Yeah.
But mostly
okay, this one's me. From Mr. Boricua 10. Arden screening and producing as well as giving sass as the beast she be. I'd put myself into a fit if I tried. Also got the green light to start introducing regular food again. Lost 30 pounds already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
well done,
30
Mr.
pounds is good.
I'm trying to reintroduce foods. Boricua. Got to roll that R. Brah! I'm trying to reintroduce foods, but so far it's not been going awesome. I keep ending up back on the normal thing. Jason Jones says, Jimmy Snow should be happy his beautiful ass gets to live on Earth, the only factually known home humans share with their goose lord betters. Fuck geese. They are rapey and shitty, and I fucking hate them.
You are not the first person to say that. That's weird.
I have childhood trauma from them as well. They used to wake me up under my window. They'd like targeted my window at like 3 a.m. They'd come outside my window and go, bonk, bonk,
Oh my God, dude.
when I lived in Louisiana.
God, that's
Fucking
miserable.
geese. I think this is you.
Oh, from Vernon Snyder on the climate change bit, it was not Trump that, was it not Trump that also stopped NASA from doing climate-based science? And it was under Trump. Yeah, I remember this. Is this the case where the satellite data was like, they stopped using satellite data for climate change or something like that? You remember that?
Yeah, and in general, just had their funding way slashed.
Yeah.
Dade Murphy sent a concept of a super chat. This is my concept of a super chat. What's up, Owen? Former JW here. And Jimmy, excuse me. Go fuck yourself. Dade, I didn't know that you were ex-JW also. I love that.
Awesome.
Dade makes a lot of YouTube shorts where he does, so he does like, he's probably done, I bet, stuff of yours. I'll bet you'll find some, but he does voiceovers, or rather what is that called? Like dubs, where like it'd be one of our videos where but he has this like really expressive face that's very hypnotizing. So like he'll be speaking in Matt Dillahunty's voice, but changing something about it with his almost miming performance art. It's very intoxicating. I've wasted a lot of time on his shorts just to
I love when he's got like a blunt in his hand and he just looks so frustrated. It's perfect.
He often has a blunt in his hand.
He does.
Often
That's great.
I'm trying to think. Dave, did somebody tell you to put a shirt on lately? Because I noticed you wear a shirt a lot more often lately. I was just wondering about that. Anyway, I'm not complaining. I noticed. I think this is you.
Oh, is it me? Jimmy, who do you think will be better against anti-Semitism? Not Israel, but U.S. Jews.
Probably the person married to a U.S. Jew and the person who isn't the favorite of the Klan. Probably the people who the Klan are not voting for. Probably the people that when you poll U.S. Jews also has their support the most. And I tend to trust that community to that on who they think represents their safety a little bit more.
Yeah, agreed.
Guam Blues says, I salute your patience. Also on behalf of reasonable Canadians, sorry for the dumbass Canadians that called tonight. I don't even know if all of them were actual Canadians. I guess it was a fake Washingtonite that called that was clearly a child.
Monkey at typewriter, I've decided I'm making a new rule. I'm not taking scientific argumentation from people who are actively setting their kitchen on fire. Thanks, Jacob. Oh, yeah. Right.
He's an engineer, by the way.
I gotta put this oil fire out with some water. 1 minute. Monkey at typewriter. Oh, that was Barabas Dan Tioch says MAGA is so obsessed with transgender people. I think they fantasize about it, especially Mark Robinson. Well, he's admitted to fantasizing about it. It's wild that you can't have a discussion about anything with these people. Like they are. I saw it even on Charlie Kirk went to the DNC, went to the convention. And there was this younger guy who was there and like debating him, and he was getting owned by it. So then the guy goes, okay, well, let me ask you this. What is a woman? And it's literally their card where they go, I'm really losing here, but I know my audience will always side with me on the trans issue. So if I just say what is a woman and he in any moment actually stutters or anything, I win. And meanwhile, the guy was like, cool, I guess I'm done, but maybe you should meet one. That was his response.
I remember that.
And then,
Yes.
yeah,
I saw that video.
Charlie goes, I'm married to one. And the guy goes, so am I. Like, it's literally
oh
just
my God,
fucking soda. So let me ask you this. I've just lost this debate on every other point. But what is a woman? Because I don't have any other thing. And I know that I can appeal to people's feelings on that and not what the actual facts would be, not what the scientific consensus is. And I can sit there and like, people are saying J.D. Vance had the best debate Republicans. Like Michael Knowles was trying to say, it was one of the best debate performances of all time, like more than Reagan in some ways. Right. And the guy literally said the rules were you weren't going to fact check us. And then the second thing, what was it? We're not going to listen to the experts. We're going to listen to common sense. You're going to brag about that, you fucking moron? Complicated issues do not warrant common sense. That's not a brag. That's like what I would say is an insult. Don't vote Republican. They vote
anyway.
They ignore experts. Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's
common
also
sense
true.
Isn't real.
Right. Common sense just means what my tribalistic views are. And that's pretty much it. Yep.
All right. We've got from Midwest fungi finds. I came a hair's breadth. Right. I came a hair's breadth once from falling too far in with JW's. Owen, your cult analysis videos were huge help in pulling me out of that space. That's awesome. So glad you like my stuff and glad I could help.
Showing a little bit of belly.
I know.
It's
I've
very
noticed
white.
Every
It's
time.
practically see-through. I'm just going to pick
White
up my
doesn't
belly
bother
button
me.
for the rest. This is not showing off the 50 pounds I lost. That was a bad angle for good old Jimmy Snow. People are going to be like, how big was he? Pretty big, to tell you the truth. I assure you, even with the...
You're really tall, though, anyway.
I'm 6'2", but I was not well. Arden saw me in person for the first time, and how long has it been since we've seen each other in person, Arden? Like a year
Close to a year. Yeah. I might have stopped at your house briefly to like exchange something, but like where I actually saw you for more than 30 seconds, it's been over a year for sure.
You made me feel very nice. She had a very surprised reaction because, I mean, she knows, she sees the videos, but in person's different. Not that you've never seen me in person, Owen, so it'd be nothing to you. You would have no frame of reference of what kind of physical space I take up, so it wouldn't work anyway. But it felt very good. I then described myself as looking like something the old me shit out.
Right.
Anyway. Jimmy, Amy Danger says, Jimmy was my first on Skeptic YouTube. Owen is my Sunday night tradition. Lovely to are you both. How many more do we have left?
Looks like maybe just under 10. That's 3, 6, 9 after this one. So 10 total.
Cool. Go ahead, Owen.
Okay, me. From Tempest. Yep. Owen, good to see you on the show. Jimmy is on fire tonight. Ciao from Italy.
I realized lately that I should be doing the political shows. I'm okay on the God shows, but this is the things I give a fuck about. Yeah. I mean, I care about the God stuff too, but I feel like I should be more over here because my style is already like many things about my style already exist in the God shows. Yeah. SJL says, Owen, have you read Trump's book on your channel? I kind of want to read it, but without ever giving him any money.
You're talking about the book, the Art of the Deal book or whatever? I have not, but I know that it wasn't even written by him. It was written by a ghostwriter, so I don't really feel like there's even a point in getting it. You mean his coffee table book? No, I haven't read his coffee table book. Doesn't he have like one with letters to people or something?
He had a book that he wrote in the early 2000s where he also came out in a favor of a gun. Well, he didn't write. A ghostwriter wrote that one too, but he came out with an assault weapons ban. I think that's the one his niece ghost writ for him.
Another? I thought he only had the one. I didn't know. Interesting.
Let me think what that was called. All books authored by Trump. And David Haxor says hi.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Yeah, go ahead and read this while
From Barabbas Dantioch, Tyler was right about Opus Dei. Midas Touch ran a story on it recently. Yeah, Opus Dei is really destructive. I know. I've done some surface level research into them, but I got this app called ReadBit recently. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's incredible. Not a sponsor, just a fan. It converts it converts physical books to audio form, and it's flawless. I mean, flawless. It sounds exactly like somebody read it, like sat down and did production for it and everything. Really incredible. So anyway, I've burned through like 1 billion books recently with that. Maybe I'll go through that on ReadBit. something.
I don't
about
even know
Opus
which one
Dei.
of these for sure are books and not just like articles or something. The way that it's, or just random stuff. Because like when you go to Barnes and Nobles, the by Donald J. Trump is like a huge list of. There's like a huge list that I've never heard of any of these. So not all of these are just straightforward books.
I figured some of them would be about him.
List all books written by Donald Trump. But it might make these up, so we'll find out. Authored or co-authored. So Art of the Deal, 87. Art of Survival, 91. Oh, wait. That's a book about Trump, though. What the fuck is wrong with you? That's not what I asked. Yeah, it's giving me other things. Only give me books written by Trump. Only give me books written by Trump. This isn't that important. Zero says, nuclear power, Mike from Florida. I appreciate the conversation. I'm leaning toward Kamala now. I watch the show every now and then. Keep it up.
Awesome. Yeah, nuclear is like controversial with some people, nuclear power, but I'm all for it. I think it's really useful. Anyway, Boricua or Boricua? Boricua. Got it.
Boricua.
Jacob being dishonest again. Never comment on science while actively misrepresenting. I assume learn to be honest. God damn it! I feel you never will though.
I think the book I was referring to is called The America We Deserved, which he co-authored with Dave Shiflett. In other words, Dave Shiflett wrote it, and that came out in 2000. But he also has The Art of the Comeback, which he allegedly co-wrote, How to Get Rich, 2004, Trump, Think Like a Billionaire, Think Big and Kick Ass in Business Life, Never Give Up, How I Turn My Biggest Challenges into Success. Okay, anyway, I'm hoping that most of those aren't made up by ChatGPT. Salty Seattle Cyclist says, welcome, Owen. I'd like to say happy birthday to the JWs on the street corner when I pass by them on my bike. That's pretty funny.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah, I used to
fall to their knees.
I used to talk to the JWs on the street corners and stuff, but I don't really anymore. They're at a subway stop near me. Anyway, from Kai Seed, Planet Peterson is actually pretty atheist-based IMO. He's popular enough on TikTok. Might be worth reaching out if you like his content. Interesting.
If I bother to put in the time. Again, I'm the least good person to say these things to. The hosts tell me who they want. I don't have the time to vet every single person so I usually trust my people. Raven Luna says, to welcome Owen to the line, money for the kitty behind him and the coffee table as well. Ooh, that's going to cause some controversy, that coffee table.
Yeah,
there's some anti-coffee table people on this channel.
Are there really? Why would there be anti-coffee table people?
Oh, we should make you and Paul debate. Paul doesn't like coffee tables because he associates it with clutter.
Okay, yeah, all right, I can see that.
Yeah. David Haxor says, hashtag couches for Vance.
From David Haxor, filibuster, the end of the show, send more super chats.
I got a cutie waiting on my call, y'all. SJL says, he sort of co-wrote an erotic novel. His mane was gone by the time it published.
I didn't know that.
His mane was gone.
An erotic novel.
What does this mean? His mane was gone. What does that mean? Like, mane of hair? He's got the same hair he's always had, right? Just thinner.
Maybe was there an extra letter in there? His man was gone? I mean, we're talking about a romance, an erotic novel.
Was it an erotic novel about him and his man? Oh, why don't you tell people where they can find you, and then let's end this piece of shit.
All right, yeah. Check me out on YouTube, Owen Morgan, Telltale. I have my Fireside Chat channel, talk about politics there, and Unfiltered channel. I stream on there and upload long format stuff. Also, owenmorgan.com. You can check out my books and stuff. So yeah, that's it.
To those who called in who weren't serious, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. To those who are going to vote third party, I am mad, and you're a disappointment. And to these people on this list over here who are our highest tiered patrons, these people are the shit. So, stuff. All right, bye everybody.